review coming up for La Liga, where we have Atletico versus Barca and Real versus who is it?
Sevilla.
Sevilla, right? Sorry, I was gonna say Sociedad. So sorry, yeah. So Sevilla. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Let's get into the Champions League fixtures first of all. Obviously, Real and Chelsea had a very good, very interesting match where I think Chelsea were the better team in the fixture overall. Not saying because of the bias, but I think based on the match I saw, I think Chelsea should have won this game. Obviously, Werner with an unbelievable miss, and or you can say Courtois with an unbelievable save, whichever way you want to look at it. So that was definitely one of the frustrating misses of the game, even for us and Tuchel. Finally, he opened up his feelings about Tuchel's missing shooting boots for a long time now. So let's dive into it. Like Anshuman, what were your thoughts on that game?
Uh, I mean, like it was. I was happy after the result in that sense that I saw us perform really well away. I mean, that was something that I did not expect. I thought that we would be in the back foot for entirety of the game, which did not happen. And probably in the first 25 30 minutes, I was completely seeing Chelsea running ragged there, and then when that was a brilliant goal by our Captain
Benzema.
America.
Oh yeah,
No, first I'm gonna talk about
first
Captain
half,
America.
Pulisic. Yeah,
Because it was a brilliant goal as well. I mean, the touch, the composure to know where the goalkeeper is there, and like it was a typical goal, typical footballer goal. But I really loved it because it came in a very big match. Then,
yeah,
of course, like when I was really happy, then of course Benzema had to be there to destroy my day. And I mean, he was talked about before coming into the match that one of the very few but key threat was Benzema because of his performance and because of the reliability of the entire Real Madrid team for him to score. I I I personally hope that he would crush under the pressure, but like he just needs one chance out of nowhere to score that kind of goal, which was brilliant. And yeah, but in the end, we Werner miss. Then we were we were we were just not getting that last pass in the third half. I mean, we were creating the chances. Mount was brilliant. Kante was brilliant, and our midfield was very dominant. And also our defense was doing its work. So probably our game plan worked, but then we just could not get that finishing touch, that finishing pass. Otherwise, the result would have been a bit different. But
yeah.
let's see, because now we have a away goal, so probably Real Madrid would be coming in gung ho
Yeah.
just to score, and
I mean,
that's gonna be pretty difficult.
it was interesting to see because Werner missed the goal against. It should have been a pretty easy goal from a 3 yard 3 yards away.
I mean,
But
for a
then
number nine, it
but then
should
you
be. I mean, for a
yeah, but
number nine, it should be.
yeah, and when you look at Pulisic's goal, actually Werner was open for that goal. Pulisic could have passed to Werner, but knowing Werner's misses, cumulative misses
Yeah,
throughout the season, I think
yeah,
Pulisic trusted himself more for getting that goal rather than passing it to Werner. So that was really
yeah.
funny
I
for
think
me to
that
watch
happened
on that
for
part.
a. I think that happened a lot of times as well in the game when
Yeah,
Pulisic was with the ball, but when he saw Werner running, he just did not give him the pass,
yeah,
or chose a bit late for Werner to be in the right position. But I think that's confidence issue, and I think
yeah.
people are also the players are also like starting to feel a lack of confidence on in Werner. But let's
I
see.
guess so. Yeah, and
I don't think.
yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
looking at the second leg, and now that
I would like to make
team
a
update,
point.
yeah,
Sorry, I just saw the highlights of that game on Sony broadcast Champions League game. So I just saw the highlights of that game because I didn't catch up that game. So all what the highlights had, they had the miss Timo Werner chance, they had the Pulisic goal, they had the Benzema goal, and the entire reel cut off to the 87th minute. So nothing happened like in
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
60
nothing,
minutes, and
nothing. No,
yeah, I
I
mean
just
it. it was expected to be more of a tactical game where both teams were looking to just get the goal and be there. I mean,
Yeah, I
even though I
mean,
think
both of the
both.
teams are currently not known for scoring so those many
Yeah,
goals.
yeah. I
So I
mean,
think,
both teams are working more defensively right now. But
yeah,
I
it
mean,
was predictable.
looking at the second leg, Rishabh. Now that I've heard the team news that maybe Ramos is going to be available for the second leg, what do you think are the chances for Real to get through to the final? Maybe even when Chelsea has the away goal and maybe has a slight of an upper hand, not by the barest of margins. I must say.
See, I'll be very honest. I think Chelsea should have completely finished the game in the first half itself. They had a number of chances to finish off the game, and I mean it's their own doing. I mean whatever the lack of confidence and whatever it has been happening up front, really nobody cares about it. You should have finished the game. It's as simple as that. I feel the save that you're talking about. I feel like it's a confidence issue because any other striker would have just chipped it away in the far corner rather than actually straight away at the goalkeeper. The confidence is so low that he's like, yeah, this is the thing that I see straight up front. I'm just gonna shoot it and let's see what and hope for the best, something like that. But I feel like Real, they have the almost the same team which has gone through these Champions League finals in the last 6 years or 7 years. I feel they have the confidence to go and actually defeat Chelsea.
Okay.
Ramos's comeback will definitely help because they would need a leader up in the back, or like just a team leader, like just a team leader to push the players, to
Yeah.
go and actually attack and go score and whatever. Like, and he'll be the one who'll be probably managing the entire defense in the back. So definitely helps Ramos's comeback. I'm not sure though if Ramos will play actually because in the recent times where without Ramos, we've been playing Ramos for about 2 or 3 months, I guess, and we've been playing pretty well without Ramos as well. Like you saw back on the weekend as well. Like, yeah, oh sorry, not yet on the weekend, but yesterday, Militao was like superb, right? And they have Militao, Nacho, and I guess one more player I'm forgetting, but. Uh, so where is Ramos going to fit? But again, it's a big game for Real's campaign.
Yeah,
So
and
it's hard to
Ra-
leave him out of the clean sheet.
yeah, but yeah, Ramos has a tendency to deliver in the big games. He's one of the crucial players who has filled in the boots for Ronaldo when in especially in the corner set pieces where he comes up and delivers the headers whenever required. He is definitely doing that. So yeah, I mean, let's see what happens in that game because I'm really excited for that fixture on Wednesday. And looking at one of the biggest, I wouldn't, I mean, not let's say biggest, but I guess I would definitely say it's an upset because of the unusual goals which City has scored in the fixture against PSG. Both goals were something which were completely out of the blue. I don't think Navas could have done any better than he did because those judgments couldn't have come in that match. Obviously, Marquinhos had a wonderful goal, and then De Bruyne with that with that unusual cross, which ultimately ended up in the goal. I guess obviously now City definitely has an upper hand in the second fixture where they play PSG at home. So, what do you guys think? Do you think City Pep will finally get a chance to go for the treble, or no? Obviously, let's dive into it, Kshitij. I mean, I think you're
Yeah.
dying to
So
say something about City right now.
So PSG always has been losing their home games. Like they lost to Bayern home, they
Yeah,
lost United home. Every time like they have played a Manchester club, they have lost the home leg and they have won the away leg, right? So this also feels a similar territory. PSG has had always had good memories coming to Manchester, like they defeated United both the times. So that in itself would give PSG a lot of confidence. I think Neymar and Mbappe both had very quiet games that time, like they did not perform at the level that they should have on that night. But I think they would also have an advantage, added excitement and an added responsibility to actually see this game through. And I fully believe that PSG would be able to see this tie out because like City has been playing well, but they still have a lot of like frailties at the back, and they could be hit on the counter attack. And that is where City could actually, because their goals have dried up recently, they seem to have dried up. Like they're not scoring as freely as they used to, but they are conceding a lot more than they were earlier. So that is where I think PSG has the upper hand, and they might just nick the tie away from them.
Okay. I mean, Rishabh, I mean, you saw the game, and we spoke about it where like City didn't had a false nine where they played Bernardo Silva up front, and they didn't have Jesus or Aguero obviously starting in that match. But now that Aguero has played in this in the weekend match, do you think Aguero will be starting, or maybe from the bench will come into play?
No, again, I feel like again if that's supposed to happen, then again Pep is overthinking.
Okay.
Right? Because for the entirety of the season, or you would say when they defeated Chelsea, like I think 4-5 months ago, where their season actually started, where they went on that run. So that started with that false nine thing, right? It never, no striker was playing in that game. So to change the tactic where your team has been so brilliant for the last 4 months, I wouldn't do that as a manager. If okay, I don't like it, the tactic, because I feel like the usual strikers would be in that poaching situations where all these other players are not. So if you like all these Bernardo Silva's, Mahrez's are there, but they're right in and outside the box. They're not in the poaching positions where you would like, a De Bruyne cross or a Mahrez cross would actually be going to the striker like a Aguero or a Jesus, and they'll be just, poaching the ball in or like just touching the ball in. That is what is missing, and that is why they've not been able to score free. Yes, they've been able to, see out games because just of the sheer quality that the team possesses. But to say that he's gonna start a striker, I don't really think so. I think that's going to be the same position, same team, which probably played in the first leg, and you could all of you guys could guess that, because with the way their team was set up against Crystal Palace on the weekend, I don't think there's going to be any changes over there.
But don't you think like Guardiola should do something defensively to set up a formation a bit defensive, or to play a bit defensive tactic rather than being the
I don't
usual
think
one?
so.
I don't think he would.
I don't think so, because from the attacking prowess that PSG has, and especially I'm talking about Mbappe, I don't think if the City goes in from a defensive point of view, like, oh, we just have a lead and we just have to protect it, I don't think that will just cut it out.
But
I think Mbappe or Neymar will definitely be in a different zone this time around, and I mean, of course, the entire PSG team would be in a different zone. And I feel like it was a game of two halves, right? The way PSG dominated City in the first half, I don't know what happened to them. Like, why Poch decided to go so defensively.
That was pathetic managing by Pochettino. I actually could see from this 47th minute, I could see there is something different between PSG. This is not the PSG that are. In a span of 2 minutes, I could see the change. I mean, that was clearly evident that there is a change that is done in the tactic, or probably Pochettino said, just laid back now, don't use your energy that much. But I think I knew that would backfire. I mean, it's a team like City, just probably gonna win the title. You cannot keep them away from goal in a 45-minute time span. I mean, it is last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that's fine. I mean, PSG lost the first leg because of Pochettino. I'm just gonna say that. Not because City were lucky they got the chances because of what Pochettino made PSG do.
And I think so. The only one thing that I'll add here is that, and I think we've already spoken about this in the past legs when we've reviewed PSG matches. PSG's defense is not really good. Like to stop a potent attack like City's, even though there's no proper striker in their team, but they have a lot of quality in there. They can finish the game. Yeah. They can put the ball inside the net. So to think that I'll be able to stop City's attack for the next 45 minutes, that's an insane thing to think about.
For Pochettino, who knows City so better.
Exactly, and I was like, you have the players to actually go and actually score. You are not
Exactly.
utilizing Mbappe's pace, Neymar's trickery, or Di Maria's vision. You're not utilizing that. You're just saying, oh yeah, just stay back behind the line. We'll see what happens in the counter.
And if you notice, even Paredes was playing brilliant in the first half. But then when the pressure started coming towards him, he started making mistakes. So everything went 180 degrees.
I think
That-
Pochettino thought that he would just sit back and soak the pressure and try to hit City on the
Yeah.
counter attack because City would be coming out. But PSG does not have the defense to do that. PSG on its best is when they are actually going after teams, pressing them high, trying to win the ball back, and instantly hitting them with the pace of Mbappe, Neymar, and Di Maria, especially, right?
So
But
do you guys really think, I mean, that this tactic actually stopped Mbappe from attacking and maybe he was subdued
Yeah.
throughout the match?
Yes.
Of course,
Yes.
of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean-
and I just like to put one thing here as well. I don't know how many of you guys watched the weekend game. They played against Lens in their league, and the way De Bruyne scored, there was a similar ball. It just the quality, obviously, because it was De Bruyne, the quality was there in the final ball, right? It was the same ball, similar situation where Marquinhos and Kimpembe were defending the ball, and both of them just left it. And then Navas was, and then they're blaming Navas, saying that why did you go for the ball? Like obviously it went, it didn't go back into the net. But it is a defender's job. The goalkeeper is supposed to protect the entire goal, but you're supposed to see where the ball is landing.
But I would still say that the judgment of Navas was very poor. Even I understand the ball.
I don't
You have
think it was
judged it
Navas's
before
fault.
that, because you have to cover. If you are crossing towards your left, you have to at least cover your entire goal. Your goal post was not.
But he
Look,
was.
the way the ball was coming in towards
Yeah, I know
from De Bruyne,
he did a judgment call. I know that he thought that it was free passing over. Understand,
Yeah.
but I just expected that. Why take that risk? Why assume just be? You have the time. You can see the
that's
ball
how-
coming in.
No, because
No,
the thing
you
is that
cannot-
that's how usually football is. I mean,
Yeah.
you anticipate based on your judgment and your experience. You know that this ball will definitely be could be coming towards him through the header. I don't know.
But
I don't remember
you
who
see,
the player was.
I can show you. I can show you footages of brilliant goalkeepers.
But that's
just-
again, it's all about judgment, right? I mean, sometimes that judgment works, sometimes it doesn't.
But if in place of Navas it was Courtois, yes, probably he would have saved it because of his size, right? Navas is a little bit shorter,
probably.
So I'm not saying.
Your parameter is different. I would say that no, Courtois would go and try for the ball even if it's going outside. I am saying that. I'm not saying that he would just leave it off, expecting the ball to go out. Understand?
What I'm trying to say is that the way the ball came in, the defender, if Navas
No,
would have,
I am not. See, I am not saying that they did not do a defensive issue. I'm not saying that there was not a defensive issue.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying I am just saying that Navas is not somebody you could just let off the hook. I mean, the entire defense structure was at fault right there. I'm saying. So I'm just including Navas in that issue.
Yeah, so, but that's where I'm disagreeing that it wasn't Navas's fault. It was a defensive issue that was there. Because if Navas would have, let's say if Navas would have jumped, right? And if for any reason, Stones, I think it was Stones and there was one more player, I forgot. But if Stones would have actually headed the ball, it would have gone in the opposite direction. And then it would have been clearly Navas's fault and everybody would have blamed him that, hey, why you cost us the ball?
And I think if I remember correctly, the ball curled at the very last second. It wasn't curling that much at the beginning, because I think if it hadn't curled, it would have probably gone out, or maybe like Stones would have headed to the far post or the near post, whichever he would have. I guess. I mean, we'll never know, but I guess that was the case.
But PSG go through for me. I think PSG.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I still think that City definitely has the upper hand. Obviously, City has the upper hand, but I think City, because of that upper hand, will go through into the final. And I know that I think Pep will definitely have a better plan to stop Mbappe in that game, because I'm sure that Mbappe will be in the beast mode, which we saw him against Bayern throughout the two-legged affair, and Barca obviously. So yeah, but yeah, I mean the so let's move on to the Europa League fixtures, where obviously we have two pretty happy Red Devil fans, because they are definitely, or I mean mathematically, I mean technically they have not been qualified, but they're still going to probably go for their first final under Ole's tenure. So it's a big happy moment for you guys. And obviously where we saw a missing striker for in the likes of Aguero or Jesus in City, we definitely saw Cavani converting those balls which were continuously being crossed or put through towards him, and he definitely had one of the best games he has had under in the red shirt.
He
So
could have
yeah,
had
I
a hat
guess
trick. He could have
he could
easily
have.
had
I
a
mean,
hat trick.
yeah.
Oh,
So I
easily.
mean for
I mean,
Fernandez
in a
and
game like this, I mean, he wanted a hat trick.
I mean,
Unfortunately,
yeah, Fernandez and Cavani both had a fantastic game. Obviously, Cavani has a brilliant record against Roma. He has scored, I think, 7 to 8
yeah.
goals in his all his appearances against Roma. So that was really fun to watch. Obviously, so Rishabh, I mean, if you remember our thoughts, what that after the first half where we saw the scoreline was 2-1, we definitely thought it's not going to be United's day again because of the not so great home record. Even though we saw after that match that the last home loss was a very, I think, in against
It was
Leicester.
Sheffield,
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Sheffield. Okay, yeah, sorry, Sheffield. So and that was in January. So that was way back. We still thought that United doesn't have a very good home record. So I mean, what would you like to say about that match in entirety? Because we definitely don't
Okay.
want to go too much into the second leg fixture. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's this is super
See,
simple.
one thing
I feel like
before, just a small thing I would like to say is that I was very happy when Roma were 2 up, and I was thinking, yes, it's gonna
you
happen.
don't
But
have to
then,
say that. You don't have to
yeah,
say it. It's understood.
no,
It's understood.
I know, but I just want to. I'll see where my story is going. But after the performance that you did to completely destroy Roma, just for the fact that you scored 2 goals, now we're gonna show what we are. I really like that, the dominance. I mean, I did not like the result, but in the end, the way you did it, the sheer dominance that yes, we are here, we are second in the title, we are going for the Europa Champions League. So that was something I just wanted to say that I really liked it.
I mean, we
Very
would
rare
definitely
reasons
like to
where I
be
appreciate.
we would definitely like to be a fly on the wall, because we want to listen to what Ole said in that 15
Yeah,
minute crossover in the halftime, because that definitely changed
that
the
yeah.
tactic completely. I guess Van Bissaka was brilliant in that game. I definitely saw, and I think he had a brilliant, phenomenal game. And obviously, we do not have to speak about Cavani and Fernandez. I already said that. But yeah, let's go back to Rishabh. What were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think yeah, it's super simple to review the game. I think United were definitely lucky, like with the 3 first half injuries that Roma had, and definitely their first half, their first choice goalkeeper Pau Lopez, he got injured. So of course that was a blessing in disguise for us. Like, because if we had gone 2-1 half time behind, really I was very scared. I was like, okay, maybe a 2-all, maximum a 3-2 would be still a good thing, but 3-2 would still be like, oh, going back to Rome in a week's time. I don't know if what can happen, but I think they completely demolished, and I think they put the tie to bed, obviously. So
Yeah.
technically, yeah, they have nothing to do. Go sit back, relax, enjoy, and chill. Yeah, you're winning the finals now. Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
for Roma to get a 4-0 win is going to be a big task,
Yeah.
but let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to Kshitij, yeah,
yeah. So when the first half ended, like I was like, oh god, it is one of those days. It is one of those semi-finals we are gonna get knocked out again.
the
But
curse the
when
curse of
like
semi-final was back, I
yeah,
guess.
that was a semi-final. So, but United were a different animal in the second half. Like Roma, I don't know were they tired, were they were not able to cope with United's like attacking power. Paul Pogba was brilliant on that day. Cavani scored some both brilliant goals. Like his assist for Mason Greenwood was outstanding. The outside of the foot pass when Mason Greenwood converting that to for sixth goal of the United. So basically, the tie is to the put to the bed, but United cannot be complacent because they have done a 3-0 over Barcelona. Like, I don't want a 4-0 to happen. Like, it's highly unlikely, but I still don't want that to happen. So,
I mean,
I hope
Yeah.
United
Yeah,
it's not going to
the
happen.
time.
I mean,
football,
the
like
Roma,
anything.
the Roma that we've seen 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. Like, I think we saw Roma do it to Barcelona, and I think Roma almost completed that comeback against Liverpool as well. I think when
Yes.
Liverpool went to the final. So it's not going to really happen, I feel, because Roma is not that kind of that team that we saw 3 years ago. But yeah, I think I feel United were a bit lucky in that game. Like if Roma had their first team players and hadn't got injured in that first half, I feel it would have been a very different game. I don't see United scoring 6 goals. Definitely don't see them scoring 6 goals. And what about Smalling's performance
But
at coming back
if
to Old
you just
Trafford?
score like 1 or 2 goals, you get the away goals. I
He
mean,
gave
that
us
is
a
also
he gave
very
us
enough.
a pass.
Yeah,
Only gave
I
us a
mean,
pass.
but yeah, I was asking like, what about Smalling's performance as Old Trafford? I think I was very happy that he left because it was
Yeah.
shambolic performance from him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess he
Like
remembered
playing
all his
Italy, you're
previous
doing good in
performances he had at United. So I guess he was recreating those moments for himself. So yeah, that's exactly what he was trying to do.
I
So,
cannot
but
wait
yeah, I
for
mean,
Phil Jones to go
for,
somewhere and do stuff like that when he comes to Old Trafford again, because that would be hilarious. The kind of defending he does, that would be very fun to watch against us.
Man, you're
yeah,
talking
I
about
mean,
Yeah.
defense. What about Paul Pogba? I mean,
Paul
I
Pogba
don't
played well,
understand. No, he played well,
but
but what about the penalty that he gave, man? Like you can't like just go and do this penalty.
yeah,
Like it'll
yeah,
obviously be a
yeah.
penalty anywhere you go and defend. And I think he's given 6 penalties this season, the entire
Six.
season. So that's a lot of penalties.
I remember three. I don't remember six. Like game one against Tottenham, Arsenal. This is the
Yeah,
third penalty that I remember.
I think I read somewhere that this is the 6th penalty that he's given at the end in
let's
this season. So
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, I guess on the closing thought, I would say that I guess the first half is going to be very crucial for Roma if they're able to go 2-0 up in the first half or first 30-40 minutes. I guess so. I mean, it would make the remainder of the match going to be very interesting.
Uneasy. Yeah.
But so let's see what happens in that aspect. Because I don't want to say that, but you had a pretty comfortable lead in. I mean, you're sitting pretty comfortably in the Champions League and were expected to qualify, but you had a pretty abysmal run in the last 3 rounds, the last 3 fixtures. So I hope that doesn't happen because I definitely want to see United in the finals. They've been playing spectacularly this season, so let's see what happens in that aspect. But again, I guess out of the 4 fixtures, I guess one of the most anticipated was obviously Villarreal versus Arsenal. Unai Emery had a fantastic game. I mean, he announced himself in the first 5 minutes itself where they scored a spectacular goal. That goal was phenomenal, obviously, because I don't think even
The
any.
first half was all Unai Emery.
Yeah, I mean that was just like how PSG was dominating City. This was Arsenal, Villarreal dominating Arsenal, and Unai Emery knowing exactly what the weaknesses were for Arsenal team after managing them. So he knew how to exploit those weaknesses, and that was interesting to watch. So I mean, but do you think these and both the teams had a red card obviously by the end, but how crucial is the one away goal going to play and a factor in this fixture in the second leg? Anyone who wants to jump in on this point?
everyone's waiting.
Yeah.
I feel like I think it was a game of two halves. Villarreal were brilliant in the first half, and Arsenal came back a little bit, and they were kind of lucky. I would say kind of lucky to get that away goal because if they hadn't, this tie would have been over by now. Yeah, we wouldn't be speaking about any kind of Arsenal chances right now. I think the good thing about the advantage for Arsenal is that Lacazette and Aubameyang I think have passed fit for the next game at least. So
Yeah,
definitely
I mean,
have some
Aubameyang started today and had a decently good game, and I think
good game.
that's going to do a good fair bit of confidence for him. I
Yeah.
think he had an
So
assist and a goal in this game against Newcastle.
okay. So I mean that's definitely going to boost their chances. Going back to the Emirates and if you have, I mean, all of their knockout round fixtures that they've actually played, any of the first legs have never been convincing. All of them either have been draws or a very narrow victory or something like that. So
I mean, this was their first loss in the Europa League. So
oh yeah,
for
exactly.
Arsenal,
So yeah,
Arsenal's first loss.
so to say that the tie is over is is not the correct thing to say, because I mean Arsenal is still in the tie because of that away goal, and they can definitely win against a team called a team
Like
called Villarreal.
like
The only thing that I'm concerned about is how will they respond when they're behind. So Arsenal are behind, and how will they respond
Hmm.
in their home legs? And then the other story behind this fixture is that Unai Emery coming back to the Emirates.
Hmm.
So he wants to obviously prove something over there, that you sacked me. Hey, I'm back in the finals. Even though I think he took them to the Europa League finals when they lost against Chelsea, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of stories behind it, but I feel like Arsenal can definitely go through. Villarreal are not that strong at the back, but given their attacking prowess, I think Gerard Moreno is in terrific form in La Liga as well. He's been scoring goals. So, and I think they're sitting like 2 points out of fifth place in the league as well. So they've been playing good, decent football. Not great, but good, decent football. Uh,
I want to ask something. Like if either of the English teams win the Champions League and Europa League, does the fifth and sixth spot become available for Champions League positions?
no, because so if Arsenal win the Europa League, then they just go to the Champions League directly. So fifth place
Yeah.
is anyways not
No,
going to be
if
open.
United win the Europa League, does the fifth spot become available as well for Champions League?
I don't think so.
No, because
No?
United are already in the Champions League spot.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's what I thought.
yeah, I think that no, I think you're right. Yeah, if United win the Champions League, I think then the fifth spot is
Yeah,
opened up for
and if
Champions.
City win the Champions League and United win the Europa League, I think the fifth and the sixth spot would be open for
Yeah,
Europe Champions League positions,
yeah.
which might be good
I
for
think
Liverpool and West Ham.
yeah. I would like it if United can win the Europa League, because then I think they go in the pot one. I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
They get an easier draw. Yeah, they won't get
exactly. So yeah.
PSG and Leipzig like they did last year.
So,
Yeah.
both finals should be with England clubs.
I mean, that's happened
Like
before also. That's
yeah,
happened
Yeah,
like
that
two,
happened.
3 years
Yeah.
ago,
That's
right?
happened like 2 years back. 2 years
2 years
back.
ago. So
So I mean, yeah, let's see if it
yeah.
happens or not. But for me, I mean, as long as I have like a good final, that's all I really care about. I don't want it to be a boring match, because if even though I support Chelsea, but I don't. If Chelsea goes to the final, I can expect like it could maybe go into the extra time, and maybe just with a 0-0, and maybe it could end with
scary moment.
a penalty
Penalty
shootout,
shootout.
and which is definitely something I don't want, because I want something of an exciting final to witness in that final game of the season. So let's see if that happens or not, but we'll never know. So I mean, until next week, so we'll see what we have to say about that part. But obviously, we had a big fixture for today against with United and Liverpool, which obviously has been postponed. So I mean, with all the protests which has happened outside, and the fans invading the stadium today, so that is something which is really big to watch. But just a quick thought. What do you guys think? Do you want just a quick thought on that? Do you want Glazers to go out from the
Yes.
club?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Like they took over the club somewhere around 2005, 2006. Like they started their takeover from the club. It was a forceful takeover. Like the original owner, I don't remember his name. They did not want to sell the club, but Glazer started buying a lot of shares from him, and it was a forceful takeover. But Glazers have been like trying the club out, making the club, taking money out of the club, and they are not putting anything back. Like United as a brand has grown in an exponential rate in the last decade or so. Like their valuation has almost doubled. They were like $2 billion dollar club. Now they're a $4 billion club. But them as an owner have not invested anything in the club. Like the only time they put an investment in the club is when the team is out of the Champions League. If the team is playing the Champions League, they won't like I bat an eye. They won't do any major transfers. They won't care about the club, and they won't actually put the money in. Like they have pulled out $100 million just recently from the club, while the club's initial total debt has risen to 650, $660 million. which in
Okay.
itself tells that they can clear the debt, but they are not even trying to do that. All they are trying to do is fill up their pockets and enjoy the dividends while they let the club rot. They haven't
No,
put any investment.
they bought the club in what, 2005, right?
Yeah, 2005. So since then,
2005.
there has been no investment in the stadium. The roofs are leaking water. Like if Manchester is a rainy city, like there's always rain. The roofs have started leaking water onto the pitch. It's that bad, and they're not putting any money into the club. So that is why the fans, especially after the ESL fiasco, where all they wanted was to do a power grab and have again fill up their pockets. Like the fans have had enough, and they are actually like flashing out.
Yeah. And
I
I
mean,
mean,
it was
so
an insane scene. Never seen anything like that.
yeah, there
Like
was
This
I hope
it
fans.
was
believers.
yeah. I mean, last week we saw Chelsea's fans invading the pitch. I mean, not invading the pitch. Sorry, gathering outside the stadium to stop the ESL.
Yeah,
And
like
now
normally,
this
yeah,
is
normally
this,
the fans
and I
were
guess
gathering outside the
yeah,
stadium.
United have taken it an up
But
notch. So let's see
United,
what
they just
how the story unfolds, and obviously we want to see when the fixture happens between United and Liverpool. But on the other side of the pitch, I mean, there was an interesting news which happened last week was where Nagelsmann has been appointed the manager for Bayern Munich, and it's obviously an interesting thing to happen because I mean Bayern Munich definitely has a very um, I mean a huge legacy which they have and a reputation which he needs to live up to now I guess because of the talents which Bayern Munich has. So Rishabh, do you think like it's a good decision and do you think Nagelsmann has the uh, talent to actually manage like superstars like Lewandowski because that was something which we spoke about like when Lampard came into the position at Chelsea where we thought that he doesn't have the managerial skills to maybe manage big superstars and I guess like and even similar questions were roaming around Pochettino when he took over the job at PSG where he was going to manage the likes of Neymar and Mbappe now.
I mean, see, the Pochettino comparison is different because he's had the experience to in the game, right? But Nagelsmann has like what I think 5 years of coaching experience. So and he's never actually managed the biggest stars in the game. So yes, I'm disappointed with the story. I'm disappointed that he has joined and Bayern. I mean, yeah, Bayern have money and they can afford to do all these transfers for the players and but to take the best manager, the second best manager in the league, to take the best defender in Germany, Upamecano, in the same season is not good. It's bad. It's bad for the game. Like to see Bayern winning their ninth straight league Bundesliga title is not good for Bundesliga. Like nobody wants to watch. Like and by signing Nagelsmann, by signing Upamecano, you've already put everything to bed for the next 4 years as well. So what do you want to see Bayern winning 14, 15, 16 league titles in a row? Nobody wants to see that. I mean, I was very happy that Marco Rose resigned from Gladbach and now he's going to join Dortmund. Adi Futter, who was the coach at Frankfurt, now he's joining Gladbach. So things were happening in the lower league sides where okay, maybe this is the season where okay, Nagelsmann has probably produced his team. It is his team. He knows how the game should be played. Hansi Flick is going away. Maybe next season whoever comes in probably will take some time to establish his game for like in terms of Bayern Munich, right? So it would have been like, oh, maybe this is a season where Bayern Munich are finally kept off their perch, and we already saw with Juventus like this season, right? So nobody wants to see that, right? So I don't know their reasoning behind why these players or why these teams keep selling to Bayern Munich in their own division. So are you happy with being second, third, and fourth, or you're just doing it for the money? I don't really know the reason. So
But
it's
like
it's a very
I
disappointing
guess it's
story.
all about realizing deep down within that you do not have the skills or the players to actually compete against a team like Bayern because I mean obviously it could be a different story when maybe like Bayern gets a underrated manager into their position, and maybe he starts screwing up. Just like we've seen Pirlo, obviously not having a
But we
lot of
already had
managerial
that.
experiences.
We
So
already had that, right? With Niko Kovac, like he was screwing up. That's why he got sacked, and then Hansi
Yeah.
Flick came in like in October of 2019.
So, I mean, yeah, that would obviously be interesting, but I guess it's all about like what we see, like the wealthy, like wealthiest clubs actually, or the wealthy actually take away the power from the poor, and ultimately wealthies keep on succeeding even in the times of pandemic. So it's like it's exactly
Yeah.
the same situation which we have in the business world. We obviously are applying in the football world as well. It's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
different in
I
that
mean, see,
aspect.
it's
So
a very basic analogy. Sorry, but one more thing, Ashutosh.
Yeah.
It's a very simple analogy. Like if you, I don't know if you develop a player which who is already rated, 92 out of 100, 92 out of 100 to 94 out of 100. Like what's gonna happen? Like are you? He was already a great player. You just made him like 2 points extra. That's it. But you will be called a great manager when you take a 60 rated player and turn him into an 85, which we already see with a lot of managers. So that is the only concern that I have, because I've not seen him uh, doing that with the best players. He has done it at Hoffenheim. He has done it at Leipzig, where he has taken players and established them into biggest of biggest superstars. Right now, everybody wants it. Upamecano went to Bayern. Sabitzer is actually into contention of moving away from Leipzig. I think Konate
Konate
came
is
into
going to Liverpool. Yeah.
Liverpool. So
Yeah.
yeah, so if that's their business model, yeah, develop players and then sell it, which is, I feel like, which is probably the entire Bundesliga. Like, yeah, let Bayern winning the titles, and we're just going to develop players and sell it off. Like, if that is how it operates, then yeah, rest in peace Bundesliga, because yeah, we're going to see we're going to be alive until 2050, and Bayern must have won their 40th league title.
40, I guess, is
So
I think
Bayern
it's
is doing
yeah.
Bayern as a club is doing what is like what is best for itself. Like Bayern in itself is buying the best superstars from its league, is buying getting the best manager. Every team does that. Even teams in Premier League do that. Like Spurs got Pochettino, like Liverpool got Jurgen Klopp, Brendan Rodgers went into Leicester. Like
But
every
comparing
team
those
does that.
things,
The
no, but comparing
thing
those
is,
things in Premier League is different, because Premier League is
yeah, yeah,
still the most like even in terms of competitions. Even though people say that okay, we do not have a lot of title fights in the past 4 5 years because we've seen one team which runs away with the title usually, but it's still one of the most even competitions across Europe, I guess.
yeah.
So
But
I don't think you should
uh,
compare with
no, no, I'm not
Premier League on this
comparing. What
aspect.
I would, the point I was getting to was that the clubs in Bundesliga, like most of the clubs in Bundesliga are selling clubs. Like in Premier League, every club, like every club in Bundesliga, they do not need to sell to Bayern Munich. And if they do, they should actually be charging a premium price. Like Upamecano, if he was in Premier League and he was going to a rival club or any other club, would have cost somewhere close to 80 to 90 million pounds. Upamecano to Bayern Munich went to 40 million euros, right? That in itself tells like even if you want to do a transfer within the league and the player is going to Bayern, like they got Lewandowski for a very cheap price, they got Mario Götze for a very cheap price, they got Matt Hummels for like a very cheap price, which should not be happening within the same league. Like if a rival club, and Borussia Dortmund is one of their biggest rivals, right? So even if your player is moving to the your rival club, even if he's moving, in most cases, the club should be getting paid a huge amount of money, which in itself does not happen with Bayern Munich, which again leads to the fact that Bayern Munich is such a dominant club in Germany, and other clubs are like just playing for second, which is bad for the league. So that is something that German clubs need to ensure that if their assets are being moved to a rival club, a rival team within the same league, they need to be getting a high amount of price for that.
Yeah, like I mean, let's see what Nagelsmann has in store for us. I mean, we'll see after the Euros when we'll start covering his when we start covering the transfer market updates at that point. So let's see what happens at that time. And so that's all for today, guys. I mean, that's a really interesting podcast. I guess it was fun to have a interesting conversation with all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. Obviously, on closing thoughts, I would like to give a huge congratulations to all the Inter Milan fans, because they just won Serie A title after nearly a decade. I mean,
Decade, yeah.
and ending the Juventus decade, Juventus reign of terror for in the past decade.
Dominance.
So dominance, terror, whatever you want to say. But yeah, so I mean, they've finally been able to get back on onto the top of the sheet. So it's a big victory for the Superman Conte. So let's see what happens. I mean, on that side, we have Juventus who's competing for the fourth spot and the Champions League spot, and let's see what happens in that aspect, because we'll see a lot of stories unfold in that aspect, where if they do not qualify, will Ronaldo be staying with the club or not? So yeah, let's see, because we have some very interesting weeks coming up in this podcast, and we'll have a lot of interesting discussions, because the United fans are really hoping for the rumors to be true, where they can finally be able to bring one rumor to be true and have Ronaldo come back to United, because that was something I would really
I have read and I have heard United fans saying that if Ronaldo comes, they are gonna wet themselves right there, right there.
They
I
That
mean,
is
it's
how
they want
anticipated
it,
and excited.
like if they want United to spend 100 million pounds on Ronaldo, they should not be calling themselves like that.
It's not going to cost
That
100
is
million for
not.
sure. No, it's not
No,
going to
it
cost
won't be,
100
but
million.
it would be somewhere close to 70-80 million pounds. Nothing less than that, right?
I mean,
let's
yeah,
see let's see what
let's
happens. I
see.
mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, we'll have that story unfolding in the right at the business end of every league. So let's see what happens, or maybe even after the Euros is over, so we'll have a lot of transfer market updates at that point. Let's see what happens. Thank you guys for joining us. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos, and do not forget to follow us on the social media platforms. So thank you and good night.